Hello, hello. Welcome, folks, one and all, to the round 16, game number 2 between someone325 and SuperNinTaylor. My name is Rosalindus. I'm joined in the booth today with Scupula. How you doing, sir?
Good evening. Thank you, someone, for the added percussion on the DKC title menu there. I appreciate that. So yeah, we're going to be going with that for P1 today. SuperNinTaylor's going to have vanilla music as usual. We'll switch as conditions dictate, but we start here with everybody's favorite starting item out of Link's house. A shield.
So those who are just joining us for the first time, this is the 2024 Link to the Past Randomizer Enemizer tournament, where enemies in the game have all been shuffled, and this includes bosses who have been assigned to the Chaos Boss Shuffle mode, which means that any boss can appear any number of times, including every single boss, or absolutely none at all.
There are a few arena restrictions. Some of them are technically dictated. Some other ones I think are by mercy. Like I don't think there's maybe a Trinex on a moving floor. If there is,
Trinex cannot appear on a moving floor, and I believe he cannot also appear at Moldorm 2. So it looks like no real help between the starting house and Uncle, but then there was a nice 3-pack at Sanctuary. Thank you. The chat also indicated that Trinex cannot appear at Hera as well.
Yeah, the Moldorm 2 and 1 have, I want to say, these same rules as they were, but we got a red crystal at Eastern and regulars for the other Light World dungeons.
We got us a nice fish just below the pond beside Bonk Rocks. It's going to be an easy bomb pack at the start.
That's
Not
a
that
nice,
we really need it.
yeah, nice place for the fish. You get a couple other things too, a little bit of like a 20 and some arrows or something. But
full magic. I believe it is $21. Ooh, a nice sword at the thief drop down. $21, 10-pack of arrows, an 8-pack of bombs, and a full magic.
SuperNinTaylor's going to grab this fish and think, well, I'm going to lose him because I got to do that drop down. But yeah, it's the Enemizer staple when you have seafood north of Kakariko.
All right, we're gonna see what Blind's house has for us. Just got a full heart, a nice bottle before Sick Kid, heart piece, and ooh, the flute to start. You always love seeing the flute before you touch Bottle Merchant, or at least go next to him.
There's flippers, so search for money.
I never like finding the flippers this early because the second I see either a glove or a flipper, it's like, oh, good. Zora is just in play because money is not a logical thing in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Cackwell has $20 for us. And a heart piece in the back. 10-pack of arrows, another $20, and $50.
Yeah, you see them picking up every fiver they can find because you end up like me the other day and end up $10 short or something if you don't.
Definitely. And when you have immediate access to Zora, you're starting to look for as much money as you can muster. Even though there are a couple of 300 packs in the game, you still want to get this like kind of knocked out. And a bug nut in Chicken Hut.
It's the kids' storage facility there. Nice defense of someone's wallet there, getting into it to begin with the thief in there. I mean, lethal force, but it's okay. You don't know his intention.
What's nice about finding the bug net with a bottle pretty early on is that in Enemizer, fairies are actually a lot more useful than in a lot of other modes, because where enemies can surprise you and, oh look, there's a chain chomp that just surprises and hits you, this can, you know, save your life pretty quickly.
Another little common trap, and you see the bomb go down a second you get in the door because you want to burn out the timer on it. But Enemizer things, it's just a muscle memory thing we all do from normal modes.
We just get $50 on the library, so it's not too enticing to ever come back for. Oh, a master sword at the maze race. This is one of the reasons why I enjoy just doing the blind check, because if it is something that you want, the possibility that your opponent did the same thing as you is always dependent on the player, but you just have an immediate, like, 15-20 seconds to yourself to save some time against your opponent.
Yeah, I always overthink it. I'm like, well, how much should I get so far? We got enough. Do we have enough bombs? Now, before recent events, someone had 3. SuperNinTaylor had 1.
Yeah,
so, you know, you might want that one for something, but we both checked it. We both want it.
Early Pearl in the Floodgate. And we're about to see what the drowned item is.
Appropriate water dripping in the soundtrack here for this cave. I like it.
And a hammer as the drowned item. We're getting closer to just having Dark World access. As fun as it is to just be able to access the whole world inside of 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Shout out ladder dark open starting Dark World items. Yeah. So yeah, pray for a glove and not a lamp.
All right, what does Mini Moldorm have for us? 5er, 20, another heart piece, another 20, and another 50. So our prize packs have been surprisingly lackluster this open here.
Chat with the Call of the Cape is another one of those, you know, doesn't give us access to Aga we don't already have, but it tends to end up being like another indicator, I find.
Of what the game wants us to do, yeah.
The Banana Bird says it's like a mix pack, and
Oh no, we got us a lamp in Ice Rod Cave. So this is where you get to make the big decision. Do you invest the time to go looking for a glove to see if you can dodge Aga 1, or do you just rush the Dark World access?
It's a tough call when one item you're missing is something other than a Moon Pearl. Unfortunately, we have that, so...
It's like if you rush Aga 1, then you have access to the Hype Cave, Stumpy, and Dig Game. We've already got access to Pod if you want to go that route. this particular mode, just a $20 on the old man rescue. This particular mode is not equipped with enemy logic, so the items that are logically required to access certain places are still dictated when the algorithm is placing objects. For instance, logically speaking, the game does want us to have a bow when going to the boss of Eastern. Likewise, it wants us to have a bow when going to right side pod. So these are things to keep in mind when you're making your routing decisions.
Yeah, which I imagine, at least it looks like SuperNinTaylor might have done that already. We'll see, because it's, you know,
we got us yet another sword on Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, I can't get that just yet, but, you know, you might see with the lamp, especially SuperNinTaylor might maybe just, you know, get into Eastern here, and it kind of looks like what's going on. Might even decide to just finish it. Not always can you do that, but it would be doable here. It's the thief in the water, thankfully, is something that does not... Oh, wait, yeah, we have flippers. I'm going to be like, well, sometimes an Enemizer in the back of your head. Got to watch with the fake flippers, but I forgot we have had those. Mimic working quite well for itself here, being in the water.
And there's an early death for SuperNinTaylor. These enemy shuffles can trip you up a lot because enemies that you'd find normally in the Dark World, like Mire or Turtle Rock, they can pack quite a punch.
Yeah, thankfully that death was 2 rooms in, so that's, if you're gonna have it, that's where you'd want to have it. Now there's, okay, yeah, 300 in a mirror, and of course, again, logically available with those flippers, and that gave us quite a breath of relief here for the next check. We're going to have mail, we're going to have whatever Zora has, which at this point, if it's a scam, oh well. You like it when stuff works out like that with the big 300 that you needed almost every bit of to clean this corner up. Yeah, a little bit of a refund, no big deal. Mail and Enemizer is quite nice, and a cane. So everybody's doing well for themselves here. Probably be retracing at some point before too long, but vote on your go mode hunt now, I guess. See what we're going to be missing after all this stuff comes in. A couple of the Cannon Knights that are in the game code but not used. Fun to see, mostly because they don't pose much of a threat like I think they were meant to. So mirror in hand now, someone325 going to have that third sword already in Hera access, and we see now pendants at Mire and pod with the green at Ice Palace. And I want to say the other red was Turtle Rock. That's about where I took my eyes off. Luke out here doing tracking, he'll get it. Got a land mow here in the back of Eastern, so that's quite simple even with the loadout we have. SuperNinTaylor, I don't actually know what the item count currently is, so this could be a bet that the boss has it or we're just doing the boss. Oh no, wait, we did go to the back. Never mind. So always looks faster when I'm watching it than it feels when I'm doing it. Everybody's favorite Babusu replacements, which make you wait. Here in the good old kill room. And speaking of that, like Roz had mentioned before, restricted item enemies are guaranteed not to be in a kill room. So, might have originally required a bow, but we know we won't.
Likewise, I suppose it's very nice that enemies like Freezors do not have the ability to be shuffled because they always pop out of walls. And at current, we don't have the technology to shuffle those.
Mm-hmm. So some spin, master sword, hammer strats here. They're working pretty well in a fight like this.
Pretty easy moth fight for Hera. Likewise, equally easy Landmo fight for Eastern. We have tempered sword damage. We can make short work of most any boss in the game.
And I want to say, now that I wasn't paying attention at all, but the tempered spins are still something you don't want to do even when Moth is not.
That is correct.
Okay.
And the reason is because Mothala is immune to spike damage, and Gold Sword is its damage is basically clocked at a particular tier of damage, which is equal to spike damage. Therefore, the game thinks that Gold Sword touches of Moth are spikes doing damage, because you're not supposed to have that in the game. So what the Rando devs did was they turned the Gold Sword damage down to do Tempered Sword damage to Moth instead. This doesn't work with Tempered Sword spins because it would then try to apply Gold Sword damage to Moth, and your sword just phases right through it.
One having to chase an anti-fairy all the way through Spiral Cave, which...
Oh, what a lovely place for a freaking chain jump.
Yeah. I was thinking, okay, 5 hearts, if you want to push through the anti-fairy, that's fine, but chain jump has other plans no matter what you got. Even with
It's
some
kind of
blue mail.
unfortunate because do you make the choice to go back up the mountain, or do you bail and run away for something else?
Yeah, that is one of the toughest ways to lose time in an overworld.
Yeah.
When you have hammer access to the right side.
Because while it was fortunate that someone got the long one out of the way of Spiral Cave, it was the treasure trove of Paradox that you really wanted to go after. And as I didn't get to mention before, Saha just had a big heart and a red boomerang. No real help or assistance.
We saw our stun prize. It was mentioned. It wasn't spectacular. Wait, was it an 8 bomb? SuperNinTaylor was spending some time before Zora pulling some bombs. Oh, small magic. Okay. It's a lucky drop then. So yeah, we are here now, making up for each other's progress at this point. Someone will end up with a cane and a boss kill here. I like the simultaneous crystals we had that were completely different in an early game. It's always fun.
Thing in an Enemizer setting, because enemies can surprise you pretty quickly, I tend to go for full heart containers a lot more often than I would if I weren't playing Enemizer. Also because there's an expectation of finding certain enemies at certain points. And generally, when you've played long enough, you can trust your ability to sort of be able to roll with the punches when enemies start showing up. But in enemy shuffle, it surprises you, and you never know when you're going to see like a Hinox just pop out of the dark and bop you right on the head. Oh no, you have only 6 hearts. And as Mokau was mentioning, there is an item in Hera Basement that the runners, well, at the very least, someone325 has walked away from and didn't make it to Paradox successfully. You might see it on SuperNinTaylor's side, but time will tell.
Yeah, this Paradox incident here is going to, I think, have implications pretty soon for what's going to happen with the rest of the race. I'm going to, uneducated, make a guess here that someone might do Aga before coming back up here. I don't know. It's like a lot of items.
I tend to agree, because if you are pressed to go back up the mountain versus just going Dark World access with what you have, it's a tough sell. And SuperNinTaylor is actually going to go back in for Hera Basement.
There are times, sometimes you have a feeling and then you tell yourself, okay, well, this is what, just under a minute to do, I think, and it could be a lot of time in a race, but at the same time, it's just under a minute, so that's how you feel about it.
There's most definitely an element of increasing opportunity cost of the things that you leave behind based on your choices. Like, for instance, the opportunity cost of leaving behind 7 things when you could need quite a lot for the rest of the game. And Hero Basement just has 20 bucks. Some of our friends in the community are very happy that Hero Basement had nothing.
So downed lane mo with the extra damage here from someone325 too, getting worms down nice and easily. So 2 crystals in hand here now before 25 minutes has elapsed.
Okay, and someone is actually going to be making the run back up the mountain. Between the 2 runners, SuperNinTaylor has kind of taken a little bit of a stride in front, having completed the same things as someone, but is closer to the destination of Paradox, which will determine their route from there. Possibly leading to Aga 1 or another possible decision.
So I'm just staring at the chomp like, well.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to wait for it to do whatever.
And just a set of bombs and arrows in the first floor of Paradox.
But here's going to be another good one. If for some reason this 5 spot doesn't turn out to much either, that's going to really
Arrows.
up the... Yeah.
$40.
Really up the chances of someone325 going back to Hera basement, and as Paradox loves to do.
And all we got were some more ammunition, and our prize packs have been distastefully dry this seed.
I want to say we have... I don't know what we have, but I don't think we've seen a Gina.
We've got a Gina, and SuperNinTaylor is making the break for Zora. We have not seen inside Hyrule Castle.
Oh yeah, I guess not. Yeah, I guess you can put it with Aga. But there's that.
And someone is opting for Hyrule Castle, which I'm betting if they find something that allows them to just go Dark World from here, they'll immediately tuck tail and go for that. But if nothing is actually found in the dungeon or Dark Cross, it's a good play to loop in Hyrule Castle last, because then you are just right here able to do Aghanim. We had ourselves a map in the first chest, which means that there's a small key either at Dark Cross or in the back. There's our bow in the statue room of the dungeon.
Good news. We can use the 3 bombs we got from Landma. Logically. I'm just memeing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that it just puts Landmo in logic.
Oh, yeah.
Not that it actually does anything for them. Ooh, and just a 3-pack of bombs in Zelda's cell. So this next chest is going to dictate which direction someone takes. Items that could open up some more checks include if they find the boots, this opens up at least another 1 check. The glove will be Dark World access. A book gives full access to desert.
Boot caveat.
A shovel or a mushroom open up oh, there we do get the small key at Dark Cross. So we got 3 more items to look for.
And for the time being, you get to tell yourself, okay, maybe this is what the lamp's for, and not the other one.
It's really nice to having Tempered Sword in an Enemizer setting pretty early on, because then you can deal with almost any enemy and boss. Alright, the back of Escape has got $40 and another bottle.
Up we go. So both runners are going to be leaving Agena to his own devices here. I probably wouldn't, but that's why I spend extra time doing stuff I don't need to do.
That never feels good, honestly, when you rush Aga 1 and see that there's nothing on the pyramid. If you have just the hammer, that Hype Cave, Stumpy, and Dig Game don't have any way to unlock progress, and Pod ends up being like totally nothing that can do anything for you. And you go back for the one thing that you left behind. Oh, good. There was that glove.
Bedrock. Good hit there. I could have got to be in a bit of a delay.
This is the one, I suppose you could call it a sensation slash dread when you're playing Randomizer, is when you have to make hard decisions like, all right, we're doing Aga 1 now, and you kind of just hope as you are doing it, the things that you have left behind end up being nothing.
And there's also maybe getting inside the opponent's head. Well, you know, we think we'll probably, my opponent will probably do this too, based on what we had and based on what I know about them or whatever. So I think it's a fair assumption. Nice, nice music.
Oh, that dead rock.
Yep. Got somebody. Not someone, but somebody. The cow with the 4 blue ball bet. There's a 1. I want to say it's 5 hits. Have to wait on the cycle to come around again, but 3 blue balls. So what we have available here with a glove, hammer, and bow, which is another thing, since the bow didn't give us anything fantastic, it could just mean, okay, go to pot. Gets me a lot, and you get a bow, like, oh, let's go do Eastern, or we already did it, okay, but really it's just for pod. Unlike Eastern, you actually need a bow to get to the boss, thanks in part to, well, in whole to 1 statue. It looks like an Igor. Someone really just wanted to walk past that Hinox there, but didn't even want to pay him attention, the Hinox. Ike in chat giving us a little bit of a split on the climb times, you could almost entirely point at that dead rock for it. That's good to know. SuperNinTaylor wants the south side of the Dark World first, and this is okay play too, especially with Hype Cave being here and Paradox itself having nothing. The other thing I like to look at when it's time to do dense overworld. Yeah,
that is unfortunate.
That is 2 now for someone on the chain chomp.
The prize packs have been unhelpful. We got 20, 40, a heart piece, and 10 shots.
So both of those dense caves with nothing. When you come to the bow room and use the bow anyway, because it's just more efficient.
This is going back to what I was mentioning earlier, where it's actually really nice getting the bug net and a bottle pretty early on in an Enemizer, because you never know when a chain chomp is gonna just jump at you and grab your keister as you're trying to run away. Third bottle at Cave 45 with a fairy in it.
Yeah, it's a thing with the fairies thing you mentioned. It can be a little harder to come across them. It's a thing you worry about after you have powder.
Mm-hmm.
But 3-1 is always nice.
No help on the balcony chest. That is unfortunate. South and Western Dark World did not have anything useful, but what is rather equally unfortunate is that SuperNinTaylor does have access to the front of Swamp.
Oh yeah, that is true. We'll be doing pod first, which is the sensible thing here, but as it were, nothing yet so far in pod besides the discovery of a vanilla Helmosaur. And that
at least is a scavenger hunt item.
Which will, yeah, depending on what's left in here, I guess that's another one in someone's pocket, since he hasn't done the back of, or the south route, east to west, so we can mirror that shovel right in with Stumpy.
So what do we at least need for go mode? We've got the fire rod for Skull Woods. We've got hookshot for Swamp Palace. We need the mitts to get to Dark Death Mountain, and we need a medallion to get into TR, plus possible boots for the GT torch, but not... Oh, there's our first glove. But notwithstanding the bosses and where they could line up, which might add between Fire Rod or Bombos for Cold Stare, a Hookshot for Argus, and Fire Ice Rod for Trinex. We still need quite a few items for Go mode effectively. In this instance, In absence of knowing, would you opt for collecting the pendant in that pedestal could have something?
Well, first thing I do is look at the other two, which are kind of buried deep behind myths and a fire source, so I'm okay with leaving Helmasaur here. But then again, I don't know, was that 5 items anyway, or no? I don't know. Yeah, Mukau says that's 5, so... Yeah, that's a real tough call to pick up a red-blue pendant. I mean, I guess if for in 40 minutes you're feeling really, really behind, so we'll see what SuperNinTaylor does, but...
And someone's finding the equally disappointing pipe into Stumpy. And what's nice is they got the shovel out of pod first, so they'll at least be able to loop in that with the other checks. It's always nice when you can group things together instead of, oh great, now that I have that, I can choose whether or not I have to go back for it.
I was pulling a little bit for like a hook shot and pod, and that's it, because then that gives that lovely, weird Dark World west access of that one hammer peg that's north of the pyramid in vanilla, even for, we don't know why, but gives us options in rando, I guess.
Dig Spot has just a piece of heart, so shovel was not helpful.
So yeah, what that will do, depending on if SuperNinTaylor decides to get that on its own after this is all done. Just a minute or two of retreading here, but someone will likely just mirror and pick up the CAC portal. I'll say a blue cane does give a spike cave, not that it's high on anybody's radar. Let's see, do the bottles on their own do it, or do you need the cane? I forget. Cane or cape, alright. Nice guard system here, headed toward the CAC portal. The required backway in absence of myths. Not actually too far apart now, either one of them.
You know, they managed to close the distance between each other pretty easily.
So yeah, sometimes you do see house here, sometimes you don't. Boots would have been a nice thing for here, but
I do like this play between both of our runners, choosing to do the outside of Thieves Town before going inside.
yeah, everything but see house. And if you find
Yeah.
boots in there later, it's like, well, shoot. But we cannot finish this dungeon. We can go to the back if we want. See what they decide on this one.
I don't think it's nearly as... I suppose the best word to say is daunting to see a boss like Argus that you can't kill, especially when you have, as Mooka was pointing out, only one item in the front of Thieves' Town, which definitely incentivizes going to check out the back. But I was going to say, it's nowhere near as daunting to see an enemy like Argus when you have to do Swamp Palace. Oh my goodness, another death for Nin. But thankfully, they did pick up that fairy in a bottle, so it is going to save their life.
Yeah, and I just want to mention something here with this, first time Enemizer tournament, and I don't know how well this would go without the fast ROM formatting changes, because it's already pretty laggy in here. Without it, yay. So, whether you like it or don't, in a mode like this, I take it.
Now, sometimes the slowdown can help out. Gives you a little bit more time to react.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the lag is never going to be gone entirely, but we had it, that's for sure. After this one, just a piece of heart, we're out of here, and we got Skullwood, Sea House, Graveyard Ledge. Not quite sure what else.
You got the mushroom turning.
Oh, yeah.
And with Cannon Burna and 3 bottles accessibly through logic, this does put Spike Cave on the table for us.
So yeah, Mooka the tracker did say Fire Rod C-shaped house, and I was like, was that a guess or what? Because I was staring at it. I guess the tracker didn't update.
It was, in fact, in Sea House.
Didn't catch SuperNinTaylor being in there, apparently. That'll route, nicely here for someone. Pulling it up here. Everybody's favorite use of the cane outside of Misery Mire. And it's like, okay, fine, you want a piece of me? Take the rest too. Get a little refill. So got about 90 seconds here between the runners. Largely the same thing's done.
And with those coming in for the first time, we're hitting the 50-minute mark, and we've got 2 crystals between our runners. The Eastern Palace and Tower of Hera crystals. They have cleared out Palace of Darkness and Thieves Town, and are now investigating the Skull Woods region. Y'all want to do us a solid and give our runners a big old follow. We got someone325 against SuperNinTaylor in game number 2 of the round of 16 in our 2024 Link to the Past Rando Enemizer tournament. And then if you feel like following us as the commentators, my name is Rosalindus, and with me is Scupula. We got us a nice landmo fight in the back of Skull Woods. Better than situations like Cold Stare or another Argus. While enemies like Argus or Cold Stare will take damage from the spikes around the room, they do hit pretty hard and can take up a lot of room in the arena, which makes fighting them a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, that was fun when I figured that out with the Cold Stare, and I had a fighter's sword, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm dead, and I tried it anyway, and I'm like, oh yeah, we can just knock them into stuff, and it was over pretty quick, so... I guess that's the whole reason for the Mothula having an override, is because they, I guess, really wanted spikes in that room, and they realized, well, if we don't override to class 4, we will have a really short fight, so... Wonder why that wall master never seems to shuffle out of existence.
Art piece and a $5 bill in the big chest. So far, this seed has been feeling particularly linear with what it wants the runners to do.
Mm-hmm. Pretty nice fight here from SuperNinTaylor. Only made up a few seconds, but it's definitely linear now. We got just a few options left here. We're gonna check Aga's tree. I don't know why I keep calling it that, but just in case we see some boots at some point, then we know if we need to come back here.
And just our piece, so no need to hurry back.
You like that routing in the room? No murder birds. Heck yeah. And nothing to get through the graveyard with, like boots, so you're gonna have to take this fun little path through here.
So as a reminder for what we have left, we've got this graveyard ledge check, we've got catfish, we have spike cave, and we have the front of swamp, and the mushroom turn-in.
The Ganon, maybe?
We also do have a
still got that
still.
still.
For reminding me, chat.
Yeah, I'll mention this again now that it's still on the table. I had a discussion with a couple of people like a year ago about, well, we do dam, we're headed to the left anyway, we're moving that way to pick up that item. Let's just do Agena. So that's what I do.
That's what I like doing.
We didn't see a magic bat with the fake powder, and we're just going to say to heck with it. That's okay. I mean, we can barely move around.
And the mushroom turn-in is just a piece of heart. That's a heavy hitters around catfish over here. Couple Lionels, a Beamos.
Almost like they're guarding something really good. I bet you it's hexagonal shaped and blue.
That is the motivational thing, is if you find enemies and obstacles in your path, you must be going in the right direction. And catfish is just going to give us a big old heart, so thank you for the love, but doesn't really help us there. And the graveyard ledge is just 20 bucks.
So I'm going to do it. Other glove here. How great would that be?
That would just be so all kinds of sad.
Let's see some bilateral panic here real shortly if that's the case. What if my opponent... Okay.
And someone lucks out.
We're going to swamp with that stuff we have. Fantastic. SuperNinTaylor is doing what?
I believe they're grouping in the mushroom grab.
Whatever this was, he wants. Oh, yeah, the mushroom was here. Okay. Didn't even see someone pick that up.
SuperNinTaylor forgetting that the dock exists in the light world and not the dark.
So mean.
We are going to see a swamp dip for someone. There are a grand total of 6 chests, one of which has to have the small key, and then possibly one with the big key. But either way, it's going to give us no more than... Oh, there are the mitts.
Mm-hmm. Just first chest. Yeah.
As is tradition. So this is a big question. Do you keep going in hopes to find something else, or do you nope out looking in other directions?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I've seen a little bit of walking, a little bit of shuffle, stepping, but we are out.
Deciding as hard as possible what they wanted to do. And they're going to opt for Mire area into desert.
No Mire to do currently. We need an ether for that. But that's not in swamp.
A gold sword in Mire Shed. And we'll see right now if desert is even doable in this situation. The answer is yes, it is. We got us a map on the torch, which means that the center chest will have big or small, which means right side or big chest will have the other key.
A little bit of a,
SuperNinTaylor is opting for Spike Cave over Swamp. I don't blame them, really.
yeah, it could be a little bit of a hoping for a play here on this one. But with the boots thing in desert, it's a little bit of a duality. Like, well, okay, we don't need boots, so we're never going to see him, maybe. If we needed boots, we might actually find them.
There is always the possibility that the boots could lock the GT big key.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but...
1 in 22 chance.
Okay, well...
Half magic. Ooh. We got us an Armos as the boss of Desert Palace. So, it is a boss that we can kill.
When I started playing Enemizer, compasses still didn't do anything, so I'm still trying to get it in my head when I played it. Like, okay, the compasses are worth something. They're part of the game. So SuperNinTaylor into Swamp. And here we'll see if what he thinks his opponent may have done, what he'll decide to do as far as going past the mitts, and then what that turns into.
Nice quick kill are most nights. Unfortunately, just a simple 20. That isn't the end of the road for someone. There is still checkerboard, and then there's... we have access to Ice Palace, and we also have access to Dark Death Mountain. It doesn't have too much available to us, but we do have options.
It's like a fairly confident decision here from SuperNinTaylor. Oh, well, no, okay, never mind. Okay, so...
They're trying real hard to make up their mind.
I guess we just, we make the decision after we leave that room. That's what happens. That's kind of funny. I'd like to analyze the psychological aspect behind that one.
Checkerboard is going to have us a $50 bill.
I'm sorry, I'm having a good time. The mirror comes out, and then it's like, well...
Because I understand the reasoning behind it. It's one of the situations where, like, you're already in Swamp. It takes, like, hot minute to get back to Swamp, open it up, and go inside as far as you've left. So if something else is here, like, say, the hookshot is just here, or a medallion that you need to get into, say, TR, then, like, you save that much time on the trip back.
Yeah, so that's what we're pulling for SuperNinTaylor here, at least, is if that happens, you know, that medallion, if it were what we find here, could block that hookshot.
Absolutely.
Which basically puts it in Swamp by proxy, and yeah, no.
While they did remember that they didn't have the hookshot for Specky, they did forget that they don't have the ability to open and flood the key just yet.
But I want to go fast.
And I do see the aversion to doing swamp prematurely because you really never want to walk through swamp. The boots make it a little bit nicer, but hookless swamp just never feels good.
What was that? I didn't see it. I was just going to ask you what it was.
Oh, that's a Helmasaur on
Okay.
Ice Palace boss.
I think one of my games I had a spike here in that spot, and it's just fantastic.
It does make me wish I practiced / learned how to do the sword spin clip into the staircase. That way, if ever there's like a large yellow spike or a small spike trap, it doesn't stop you very much.
Yeah, if I didn't have a blue cane or something like I do here, I don't know what I'd do, because that one eludes me too.
Nice magic drop. And we're going to see if SuperNinTaylor is punished for going forward. Oh my good golly goddess.
We are back to racing. I mean, we never really weren't, but
Oh
I mean,
no.
now we're having a good time.
Oh, someone is not going to be happy about that.
Oh, I love it. Mostly because I'm here.
Oh, that is... You love to see it when you're in that situation. You feel so terrible for diving hookless swamp looking for anything to progress. You find the mitts, you just sit there kind of wrestling. Oh no, do I keep going? Do I leave? Do I bail? Do I go? And then you press on and you end up finding the exact thing you were looking for.
So how many Argus have we seen so far, by the way?
Only one.
Okay.
Thieves Town, specifically.
Does not have an item on it, so that's just a whenever then. So.
All right. Oh no.
At least I don't think it has an item.
Unfortunately, this anti-fairy is going to ruin SuperNinTaylor's chances at doing this. Oh, not quite.
Get it. Here it is. Okay,
Very
cool.
well done.
Yeah, Enemizer things, but yeah, I'll back up a second. Mukau corrected me there. We do have an item back on Thieves Town, so we'll see if that's anything good now, locked by a hook shot.
And the boss of Ice Palace ended up having Bombos, which might be necessary to get into TR. We don't know just yet.
Mm-hmm.
One thing's for sure is after this, I think SuperNinTaylor is going to be prioritizing the Thieves Town check into maybe going into Mire area.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
guess.
tough sell because Dark Death Mountain has 6 items just available.
Another thing I didn't think about, because I guess it didn't
Oh,
matter. Okay, all right. Ice Palace.
Vanilla boots on a green pendant turn-in. Oh, the seed's got the jokes. Vanilla hookshot, vanilla boots.
Yeah, see, so I don't know what to tell you on that one, because that will help someone make up the difference that's going to get
It really will.
from the hookshot thing, but we might not need them. So you might not see SuperNinTaylor even do it.
We found some silvers on the boss of Swamp Palace. So these boots may end up having one item or two that we aren't missing in terms of medallion. At this point, We haven't seen Trinex at all. Trinex may be in the seed or may appear ever, may not. That's the beauty of chaos. Ooh, we got us a Quake medallion.
Okay. We got, okay, 2 medallions tied together with boots.
And someone is absolutely going to book it for TR to see if these medallions pay off. Which in this situation, you just hope they do.
Yeah, I was hoping SuperNinTaylor would get up there because it's kind of like we mentioned before. You get that hook shot as badly as you got it where it was. You want to push it a bit, and we got hook shot cave up there.
Mm-hmm.
So one way or another, we're going to see what we actually need for TR here. But going from no medallions to involvement of all 3 real quick.
What is a bit dangerous for someone, though, is they are going to end up having to dive hookless left side swamp and then finish swamp and then go back for Thieves Town. So the sooner that someone can make it back to swamp for their missing piece, the better.
It's Quake there.
Oh,
so.
Quake is necessary, which means boots are physically required.
Yeah, so a few points back in someone325's direction on that one, because
it's still anybody's game at this point, where the hookshot is left side swamp, green pendant turn in for the boots to access bonk rocks are hard required for the Quake medallion to get into Turtle Rock. Yeah, as chat is mentioning, they could hard last locate that hookshot, and the hookshot does block 2 crystals at this point. I think at this point, you're hoping that, based on the knowledge of bosses that you have to kill so far, you're hoping to maximize your checks before going to bosses you don't know. By which I mean SuperNinTaylor does know what the boss of Thieves Town is, does not know what the boss of TR is. If a Trinex is present, you want to maximize the amount of checks you can do to find an ice rod to eliminate that possibility.
Swamp Boss, did we get a read on that? I didn't even... We're asking here. I think Trinex can be there too, maybe?
Swamp was another helmet, looks like.
Oh, okay.
Someone forgetting that they do not have the hookshot.
This is going to be not blind here then for SuperNinTaylor with the hook shot. One room in the game you love to play an Enemizer when the chain chomps are gone.
Yeah.
Argus the anti-blind from chat. Absolutely.
Nice dodges there.
Those little puffs can see. Poke all day with gold sword, and you'll like to see this.
Yeah, one of my favorite tricks to do, especially in NMG, is the quick kill hookshot pull method on Argus.
Oh.
And just the single arrow on Argus. No help in Thievestown, but it does give SuperNinTaylor a small range of checks that they could go back for looking for that Quake medallion.
We got Hookshot Cave. As
Yes.
the other one, which looks like where he is headed. Pushing that hookshot, rightfully so, but not sure what could be here at this point. Ice Rod.
To answer your question, Ice Palace is really NinTaylor's only real play left, other than Dark Death Mountain. That is correct at this point. They do have Smith Chain, I suppose, but whether or not you consider that a quote-unquote real play, it's a hard sell not knowing which medallion you're looking for. On the one hand, I do think that NinTaylor is hoping possibly to see Ether Medallion, because then it crosses a dungeon off of the table that they might have to go looking for access, because medallion hunts do often feel uncomfortable at times. Surprise, Beamos.
Just why not just be a spike ball? There's that compass.
Right. Huh. Oh no.
So guess where the ice rod is?
Is it right here?
Maybe.
It is not. Ooh. So NinTaylor is kind of lucking out a little bit on that front. Kind of. And it looks like they are opting for Smith Chain first.
So what could we see here? Besides the ice rod, we could see actual ether medallion.
Yeah.
Independent
The book, ice rod, ether medallion, powder.
Well, at least we know we need the ice rod before GT. When you get halfway up the climb, try next, first time, no ice rod.
And this goes back to what was mentioned earlier about trying to maximize your checks before going into a dungeon you don't know the boss for. And Hammer Pegs is going to have just 20 bucks, nothing useful.
80 minutes in, we have 2 Smiths getting turned in. It's always fun.
And there is our Ether medallion. Oh, that does not feel good.
I mean, we
might luck out from Meyer dip.
Yeah, the rod could be here in a box, but yeah, I guess both runners are looking for something past that, just different somethings.
And $50 out of the locksmith. So NinTaylor is going to make the decision of Meyer versus Ice. And in this situation, I definitely choose Ice based on the fact that it's 3 + 1.
Yeah, this is a push of the items recently obtained.
Now, there is the possibility that Ice Rod can be on the pedestal at this point, because it does not, in fact, lock the pendant dungeons as they are, unless the boss is another Trinex.
For right here, yeah, I guess that's the only one we don't know. Oh boy.
What is still rather painful is that hook shot that someone ended up leaving behind in that difficult choice.
And this is something I wanted to mention before when we were still looking for medallions to get in here, hoping we wouldn't have had to come in here, but both runners have access past the first room in Meyer, but again, different access. That's kind of funny to me, just because that you don't know if you have the quote-unquote right access.
Yeah.
GFE pointing out here that now some I wouldn't have thought of, but yeah, the half magic from Spike Cave. It's kind of a nice
Blessing
to have,
in
but
disguise, yeah.
not really helpful for a race outside of a couple of situations. But yeah, here's
that shadow is just ruining everyone's day. The demigod Meyer of the one time you don't want to see it.
iffy with the tips. Those medallions are in fact weapons too. Sometimes they're useful.
Does the pod boss have an item? No. The only thing that the pod boss can really do is just provide 1 of 3 pieces for a pedestal. We got us a blind in Meyer, so this does mean, in fact, that the pedestal absolutely can have Ice Rod. Which it does not, because it is right there in the arena/lobby of Meyer.
Yeah, and so now someone wants this hook shot, might be here. As far as he knows, SuperNinTaylor will get the Ice Rod and be looking for anything? I guess Quake in his mind.
So what did we have for the surprises of this game? We had surprise Aga 1 fight. We had a glove in our first glove, no less, in... You know what? Either one could have been the first. It was either the big chest of Pod or the first chest of Swamp Palace.
Yeah?
And then hook shot, left side swamp, vanilla. Got us a boots, also vanilla on green pendant turn in. And then a Quake medallion out of Bonk Rocks. All 3 pendant dungeons were required in this seed, at least to be touched.
Yeah, a little bit of a mention on how we feel again, because someone325 wants the boss out of here, which might have an item. It at least has a third of your pedestal access. They could both be feeling pretty bad.
I think I see the reasoning behind it, because supposing the boss does have an item, that's another pendant down, even if it doesn't. Because in this situation, what someone could be thinking is that the pedestal actually can have the hook shot as far as they know.
Mhm.
We, of course, viewing as a third party, realize that no, can't possibly have anything useful.
So,
But being in the situation is a lot harder than just making that split-second decision of the pedestal has nothing.
yeah, and SuperNinTaylor does find probably the most welcome $20 of the seed in cutscene chests that someone325 has to go back to. But because of that, we'll not, bother with the boss for just a pedestal access, and that's it. And I'm going to go ahead and do ice here and eventually come up with go mode. It will work out for him in this case.
Our boss counts so far, we've got 3 Helmasaurs, 2 Landmalas, an Armos, a Moth, an Argus, a Blind, and a Trinex. We've had no cold stairs as of yet. But there are 3 more locations that it can appear.
So, from chat, we're wondering what someone has left to find the hookshot besides where it actually is. I want to say, yeah, Spike Cave is still a thing, with the fact that we know he doesn't have half magic, but
Yes.
I can't think of anything else. Pyramid Fairy TR boss, yeah. And someone may already be well aware of Left Side Swamp and being like, well, if it's here, I'm done anyway, so we're going to do this other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Which is definitely a muscle you build over time. It's not an easy feeling to be able to be in a racing situation and adopt the if it is there, I lose.
It's a concept that still just entertains me whenever, here's your Zelda games, which are designed to have dungeons, required items in the dungeons, and then as soon as you go to rando, that's the last thing you want.
Yeah. It's a strange juxtaposition of expectations and joy factors. if you're playing rando just to play rando and enjoy yourself and have fun, then it's always funny seeing a vanilla piece of equipment, but then in a race setting, you're always hoping that either you have that mindset built in and love just rushing your targets and then to find what it is you're looking for, or you save your target for when you have it and you never like finding the thing you're looking for there.
The Selmasaur, I don't think stood a chance at all.
Not even a little.
The Bombos being a unique item is something SuperNinTaylor knows that he does not need, so I imagine we're going to see some green pendant pretty quick.
Nice stop there by someone. Oh, that stupid Ropa. And SuperNinTaylor is about to see the hilarity of this seed.
And thankfully,
It's
the boots
funny a second time.
don't lock too much either. So we need that Quake, and I don't think it'll take too long to find. Looks like this is, I guess.
And on the
The
other
fastest-
side, someone is about to see their nightmare.
I still ask myself, whenever you have this loadout, do you save and quit to sink, or do you do what, flute to 3 like that? But it seems fast. So. That is going to be go mode for SuperNinTaylor 132.37.
Did someone do Hera Basement? I do not believe they did. No.
No. I think that is the final nail. Pretty sure there's nothing but swamp left here for someone.
That and Hera Basement, which
yeah.
we as an audience are aware that it has nothing, but it is one thing that was left behind.
Yeah, Muka, I try to spit out the numbers real quick when I've been doing this today, just so we know, but sometimes I leave them out.
And they are opting for Pyramid Fairy instead.
Yeah, as I continually forget about these available things, and I'm sure at this point it's still,
Someone, what are you doing? Someone, you've
being-
cleared Aga 1 and you have a mirror.
Yeah, just probably being over the seed, I'd say, at this point.
Yeah, I imagine that's exactly. They're just so fed up with it.
A book. No book.
No book.
That would be worse.
And someone is absolutely going back into swamp this time. Which they're about to see their own go mode. And they won't get silvers. Silvers are on the boss. So unless they don't kill the boss, I don't imagine them not being able to get silvers.
I mean, it could be like the later games, and thankfully it isn't, where, 2 items drop at once. Like, well, not items, but your heart container, and then you're way out of the dungeon, you just forget the heart container or whatever happens to be there. If you're playing rando, so... Yeah, you kind of got to pick it up here.
Strangely enough, I actually think this game is... I think this is the only Zelda game that actually locks you into picking up the heart container between Zelda's 1, 2, Link's Awakening, the Oracles, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Yeah. All the other Zelda games do not lock you out of walking away from the heart container.
I'll take your word for it. I just knew about the N64 games. My daughter's playing them, and a couple times she'd walk away from the heart. I'm like, you might want that.
Doing the 3 heart madness. She's a gamer.
Yeah. In her defense, I think it was Volvagia or the other fire guy, the Dodonga, or something, where the heart container didn't show up first or simultaneously. So, like, oh, I see the thing, we'll do the thing. It's just one of those privileges some of us older people get whenever we played games before and we know there's supposed to be a heart container there, so we're waiting for it. Funny when you go back and play and you realize how many things that, they kind of expected people to know from at least Link to the Past when they designed things, so, just an aside here as we're finalizing things before... I guess we can do it now, start the GT thing.
And if you listen very carefully, in the faint distance, you could hear someone325 cursing at the top of their lungs.
Yeah. I want to say there are still some things that could happen here. And GT routing alone won't do it, but... This is Enemizer. So
yeah, the The race ain't over until a dot done or dot FF.
Because after this, yeah, as we know, we need to go get that key now. I do that all the time. But it's pretty much run straight to the back of Thieves Town, go GT for someone325.
As is, chat is letting us know, Ice Trinex can still be a thing, and that does trip a lot of players up. Fortunately, 2 runners do have half magic, and unfortunately, I believe SuperNinTaylor already lost their fairy in a bottle. So,
No powder, haven't found one from a high value pack drop, I don't think, ever, to snag one with a net. Like someone is more comfortable with the bomb setup here. Unfortunately, takes a little more time.
unfortunately, that anti-fairy ruined everything.
So we are doing that the vanilla way. It's just gonna... Something I don't think out of this runner you would ever see outside of Enemizer. It unfortunately will affect things a bit. Draw them backward a little.
I think I got myself tripped up in that during my first game as well, where an anti-fairy pinched itself on the left side of that back, the treasure chest room, and I opted to just burn all of my magic because I still had my mushroom at the time, and then fake powder to get rid of it.
Kind of surprised to see someone come down here for these chests. Not sure if it's looking for powder or what, but
Yeah. Because at this point, the only thing that could actually help someone at this point, from what they have gathered, is just silvers. And
oh yeah, I guess looking for that
I
too.
suppose silvers would, like the difference of running down to get those 2 chests and to push the block to make the 3rd one appear. And as unfortunate misfortune would have for someone, Ice Trinex is not going to be a thing.
Yeah, but it definitely wasn't powder at all, so just edit that out, I guess. You can do that, right? Forgot we don't have silvers until now.
The GT climb is still a very real ascension that must be done.
If you walk into Mini Helmet Room and you do not see... Well, I guess even the one before could be a Wall Master, so there's supposed to be 2 fireballs, 2 mini helmets. If those counts don't add up, then watch yourself.
There could be one of those bits or bots that appear after you walk over them. So,
yeah,
could be levers in the ground.
Yep, that's one of the possibilities, but
anything can happen.
And one of those things too, talking about coming out of the ground in desert and all that, you don't see ant lions shuffled in. Like, I guess that must not be a real easy thing to do.
Got us in Armos at Lenmo 2. And we cannot have a Trinex at Moldorm 2, but we can have a a Moldorm, we can have a Helmasaur, Blind.
Yeah, Helmasaur can induce a couple of falls.
Cold Stare. I actually don't think we can have Blind at Moldorm 2. We can have a Vitreous. We have not seen Vitreous this seed.
Alphos is another one that you won't see right away. Look to be basically clear. Yeah. That room in Ice Palace, the H room, is always a fun one because it's supposed to be a Stalfos, and I've seen it enough turn into a Wallmaster, so okay, we know we don't see all the enemies right away. We're fine, and they're picking up a rock getting stuck. SuperNinTaylor, if they would have had the proper heart piece count, would have got a little nice refill there, but unfortunately it did not. So who got the GT game? Did we go over that? I forgot.
I was not actually counting.
Sorry. If you won, you probably were, so GD to you.
Oh, they won at 7. Gotcha.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Muka.
I still in a bad position. Whoops. Good double salvaging a shock. Very nice.
That's
Very
a good,
nice, Agatu.
good strat. You walk backward when the shots come out. It usually separates them enough. We're pretty well loaded here, with the exception of like a cape or something, but that's not going to bother SuperNinTaylor. Get into phase 3 where it wouldn't even matter before I even finish the sentence. So
yeah, we're having a super swell Ganon fight this evening. Whoa.
See, now, yeah, that I saw the poke.
That is a risky maneuver.
Coming out. Yeah, that's some confidence is what that is.
And get your GGs in chat for what is going to be our winner tonight. And SuperNinTaylor finishes with an official time of 1:48:39.
GG's. And as per usual, we'll see about getting them in here to talk. Someone325 will finish out and I get to talk to him as well.
And to remind our viewers who did not end up having to catch it, the Ether Medallion is also a weapon, which will make short work of those shadows.
The very long time strat I've had before coming in here and figuring out the Canis Mario, which is, you know, sometimes you can use an Enemizer, but not really.
Crystal roller blocking the shot. Someone, you're okay. They remembered at the last second that they were going to need a second key going through here. Yeah, the medallions, it does behoove players to learn which enemies' medallions will just insta-kill. Bombos will make short work of almost any enemy that is susceptible to fire. Ether Medallion will insta-kill Gibdos, berries, mini Moldorms, mini Helmas, the Shadows, and the Quake Medallion will turn almost every enemy into a small little blob and insta-kill Pengators as long as they are on the ground.
The Ether on Gibdos is kind of a fun one because the Ice Rod, they do freeze. But...
Yeah. Very nice triple.
Would have been another one too if we needed that many. That looked good.
And we are joined this evening by our winner. GG's to you.
Thank you.
Very well played.
Oh, I appreciate it.
How'd you like a hook shot there? I won't ask your opponent that, but I'll ask you that. You had to feel pretty good after it, huh?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were watching the... thought he made a nice hook shot. You're talking about the hook shot location?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes, left side. So I was trying to remember where that was, but yeah, the left side swamp. I was a little... I don't know. I was a little hesitant, and I was like, I feel like this is a bad move. Then I found the hook shot, and I was like, this could be my ticket to win the race. So
Yeah, and
that was huge, finding that there.
Pen and Ice was an outstanding thing at that point, but then we knew we kind of needed it for a couple of reasons. But yeah, the hook shot. I was going to ask you, what drove you to that at that point? Did you feel like you needed to do that for some reason, or?
Not really. I don't know. I was going back and forth in my head, like, do I finish this while I'm here, or do I do other checks? I just kind of made like just a quick decision to keep going. And then as I was going through it, I was like, this is slow. I kind of regret this decision. But I found the hook shot, and I was like, yeah, this could most likely lead me to victory, because I could see him leaving right after getting the mitts, which makes sense to do.
Yeah, GG's to someone325 as well with an official time of 1:53:31 here. Finishing out Ganon on a half a hearts, that was fun.
Thanks.
But he'll be coming up here shortly. Hello, GG.
A great fight to both of you. Very well played on both sides with a lot of curveballs and knuckleballs, sliders from the seed, particularly a couple key location items.
Yeah.
I think the most exciting part of that whole race for me was the Turtle Rock boss being Trinex. Just because I wasn't sure if he had gone to Ice Palace first or Misery Mire, and I figured if there was no Trinex, I wasted a lot of time. And I saw that Trinex, I was like, thank goodness. But I'm not sure if he did the same thing I did, went to Mire first.
Did not have the Ice Rod at the time. Hoped it was on Laser Bridge. Was not.
Yeah. I think the compass was there too.
Yeah, right there. Would have liked to seen that sooner, of course. But
Also,
yeah,
would have liked to seen the hook shot earlier, but
yeah, we were just talking about that. I wanted to get that in before you got here because that kind of was the difference. But you both did leave the room with Bombos, and then kind of like, well, and both of the decisions there were very defensible, but unfortunately, in your case, it was just not the one.
Yeah, it happens.
So did someone do Mire before Ice, or do you do Ice before Mire?
Well, I got the myth from Swamp and then left to do Ice. Because I didn't have Ether by then.
Oh, right, okay. Because yeah, I did Mire, and I got nothing out of it except for Ice Rod, which we obviously needed. I think that's where we got Ice Rod, right, Mire?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all I got, and I was a little nervous thinking you might have done Ice Palace first, and I was like, I really hope there's a Trinex, otherwise I might lose this race. But thankfully, it was a Trinex.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what else we had. We had a wonderful early game, which kind of it's funny when it happens and it kind of gets lost after everything that happens afterward. But we had the whole Aga debate for a while. It ended up being necessary. But you both left Gina until after all that. Or you had a thought like, well, you found a glove, but what if it's the other glove? Oh boy.
Yeah, I had that thought going through my head too. I was like, what if there's just a glove there the whole time? But I was thankful to see it was just like a heart piece or something like that.
Yeah, I also didn't check Hera basement. That could have been something spicy.
I think it was 20 rupees.
Okay.
Yeah, I checked it right away.
Yeah, someone was a little behind, had a chain chomp issue in front of Paradox Cave, which when you have hammer access over there, it doesn't feel good, so no blame. Wanted to get back to the 7 checks in there, which of course were nothing, and Hype Cave, so 12 checks there, just nothing.
Yeah, that was a spooky chain chomp.
It was, so we could have just went south.
Yeah, true.
But I didn't think the chain shot would hit me twice there.
I think he might have got me a couple times too, actually. But I hadn't, or somewhere in the race, the same chain chomp hit me like twice in a row. I think it was there. Yeah, he was in a pretty rough spot.
Yeah, there's also the chain chomp in Pod I died to. The chain chomps were paid off to get me.
Oh. I think the only place I actually died, well, I died in Thieves Town, but I had a ferry. But the only place I actually died and went back to the start was in Eastern, but I was only in like the second room. That slug hit me when I was trying to squeeze by him. I was being a little careless. But it only brought me back like one room, so I didn't really lose any time.
Yeah, I do remember that from Eastern.
Yeah.
It's better to have there than anywhere else, but those bomb slugs, I don't know. You always they look so innocent. But...
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. Like I'm in Eastern. It's like, oh yeah, there's enemies here that can do 4 hearts of damage. Not used to Eastern doing 4 hearts of damage.
So, but yeah, once again, GG's to both of you. I mean, just well handled. And you see a lot of times like this in this tournament with the settings. 5 minutes over that kind of time with the differences we saw, it's indicative of good execution, regardless of what the seed does to you. That said, we got a game 3 coming up, and I don't know if you guys have talked about that yet.
We have not, no. We only scheduled the 2. We got to figure out when we're going to do the 3rd one, I guess.
You want to do Saturday sometime?
Yeah, I mean, I'm free all Saturday, I think. I don't think I have any other races going on. So yeah, Saturday should work. And I can do any time. I'm free all day Saturday.
Yeah, we can do the same time to keep up the pattern.
I was going to say, I don't know if you want to work it out officially somewhere in writing, but if not, here you are, and now we've all heard it, so stay tuned.
We'll schedule it for us, Mookow. Yeah, it should be a good one. I look forward to it.
Yeah, game 3 is always exciting.
Yeah.
So, and from my end, I want to say thanks again to Roz for working with me here on this one, and Mukow for the tracks, and for the tournament itself, as I always get the chance to say. So, yeah.
If any of y'all want to give our runners a big old hearty follow, be looking forward to seeing you guys again, hopefully for Game 3. If we can get that on the restream schedule. But until then, thank you again, runners, for the great fight to watch over. That was some show.
So let's see here. I don't know if SpeedGaming 1 still has their match or not. It starts at the same time, but we'll find out pretty shortly. Other than that, yeah, just keep an eye on speedgaming.org/Enemizer. Simple to see what's coming up, and catch you next time.